Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to look at the formatting a Word document so that we can write a script or we can write a comic book. So a comic book and a script, they're formatted differently. So if I show you this diagram here, we have our film script or a movie script. It's formatted this way, but a comic script is formatted a bit differently where you're talking about the panels. You're showing the panels. So depending on which one you intend on doing is the format that you would use. What I'm going to show you how to do is format the film script, and then I'll show you how to, well, basically from there you will easily be able to format the comic book strip, depending on what you want to do. So let's go ahead and try that. First thing I'm going to do is open up Word. Second thing I'm going to do is save my document. So I'm just going to go up here and hit save, or hit Control S to save. And I'm just going to save it on the desktop or in the documents to be okay. And then I'm going to save that as script example. And you would probably save yours as whatever script that you're writing. Now, as you can see up here, it's saved and my name is correct. That's the name that I saved it as. I'm going to take a more consistent route here, meaning I want everything to be consistent, but I only want to be able to do it one time. And the best way to do that is to do it through styles. So normally I would have this on one side of the screen, and then I would have this on the other side of the screen. So that way I can see that when I'm writing my script, I can see here that it looks exactly the same and the formatting is properly done. But the only thing I want to mention is that I am not going to go here for the character names and the dialogue. I'm not going for exact recommendations, industry recommendations. If you want to go for exact industry recommendations, you can go online and look at how many tabs it should be over or whatever. I'm going to show you how to make it look similar to this, and if you wanted to get exact, you can go ahead and do that. So the first thing I want to do is go ahead and create this scene header right here. And I'm not going to necessarily create the scene header. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a dummy area here, and I'm going to say scene header right there. And then the next thing will be a description. And then after that, I'll say down here, after I have a scene header, after I have a description, scene header, description here. Now I have a character name. So what I'm going to just put here is character. After that, I'm going to put an action, like maybe the character did something, or some sort of action, visible action that you want to portray on the script. That's going to go there. And then the dialogue. Yeah, I think the dialogue does go here. So we have the dialogue, and we have the basic anatomy for our script. Okay, we don't have to get too detailed for now, worrying about the exact specifications in the formatting. So now what I want to be able to do is I want to create a style here. So instead of doing this multiple times every time, I'm setting this up this way so I can create a style. So I'm going to highlight this area here. I don't really have to highlight this. I can just click on the edge, on the end of this line. When I click here, this entire line is selected. So whatever I do to this entire line is what will be done to everything in that line. So I'm just going to right click on that line. I'm going to go over here to styles, and then I'm going to go create style. So when I click that, I can then go ahead and name the style, this thing that's here. So I'm going to say so that's the name of the style. This is how the style looks, but that's not really how I want it to look. I want it to look something like this. So I'm going to go modify, and now I can see how that style looks there. I can change the font here and look for, yeah, this Courier Final Draft font is what I want it to be. And I think I want it to be 12. Yeah, that's good. And I'll just leave it like that. As a matter of fact, I want to go automatically update, so that way it'll automatically update in the gallery. And if I needed anything else other than this, I can then go to the paragraph down here and change any of that. But for right now, this actually looks pretty good. I'm going to leave the spacing and everything as is and click OK. So that one's formatted. Now I'm going to go here to this next line, to the description. I'm going to right click on that, and I'm going to go here to styles, create style, and I want the description to look something similar to this. I'll go here to modify. I'm going to change that to courier, and I want it to be a little bit smaller. So that one was 12. I think I'm going to make that 10. Automatic. I'm going to change this name in the properties here, and I'm going to change that to description. And automatic. Okay. So that's looking good. Now I'm going to go and change the character, and I'm going to show you a little trick to this one that we could have done on these, but once I'm going to right click, I'm highlighting it now, and I'm going to right click on this and hit styles. It does the same thing as the other one did, and hit create style, and I'm going to change that to character. Modify. I want this to be centered. I also want it to be bold, and let's see, I'm going to want it to be about 12. Let's automatically update. But I also want it to be all caps. As you can see here, we have everything all caps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to format, and I want to format the font. When I do that, I can go over here and say I want it bold, but I also want it all caps, like that. And then I can just click OK. And that's exactly how I want the character. Now, the other thing I want to be able to do is I want to be able to set the character format, but I want to format a shortcut key. If I do that, now here's the command that I'll be running. I can specify a command here. I can go here and press the new shortcut key here. So I'm going to hit Control Alt, and how about Control Shift and C. If I hit a shortcut key and it's currently assigned to something, it'll tell me what it's assigned to. So maybe I'll try a different one. So I'm going to delete that, and let's see. That's currently assigned to copyright, and I'm going to try something completely different. That's probably not assigned to anything. It's not assigned to anything, so I can go ahead and use that and click assign. So that's Control Alt Shift and C. So I can assign that, so every time I do this shortcut key, it's going to create my character format on whatever I have selected. So I got that down. If I were to go ahead and click OK for that, that's done. But what if I wanted to modify the one that is selected there? What I would do is I'm going to double click on this. I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to go to Style, and I'm going to go Apply Style, but I'm not going to go Reapply. I'm going to go Modify. So when I click Modify, I'm back inside of that description, and then I can go to Format, and I can go to my shortcut here, and I can go ahead and add a shortcut key in here for this style if I wanted to. So let me try another shortcut key. That's description. It's not assigned to anything. I can see that there, and I can go ahead and assign that and then close everything up from there. For the scene header, click OK down here. For the scene header, I can do the exact same thing. Highlight that. You notice I haven't closed this, right? And the style name, scene header, it knows that this row here is in that style scene header, and I can modify, format, shortcut key, and I'm going to put H for that one. Not assigned to anything, assign it, close, and OK there. I'm going to do the same thing with the action. So first I'm going to go here to the action, and then I'm going to apply a style. Right now it's normal style, but I want to go ahead and create myself a style for the action. And that's this part right here, the action. I'm going to modify here, change the font to Courier, and I'm going to want that to be 12. And I also want that to be like that. And I want some spacing between that. So you can see the example down here. I want it to automatically. And now I'm going to go ahead and add my shortcut key. And that's called action. So I'm going to use A for that. It's not currently assigned to anything. Hit assign and then close. And finally my dialog. So hit OK. Finally my dialog. Same thing. Create style. I'm going to call this dialog. Modify. This part right here is the dialog. So you notice it's not quite center. It's a few tabs over. So I'm going to go here to Format, Paragraphs, and then from the left hand side I can just push it over using this left key right here. You can see it down here, and I'm going to go all the way to 2. So it's not quite centered, it's off centered to the left, and it looks something like what's happening over here with the dialog. Then I can go OK. Once I do that, I can see the preview here. Then I can go to Format, and then I can go to Shortcut Key, and then for the dialog I'm going to do everything I did before except this time with D. And it says it's assigned to description style. So maybe I'll do, let's see if we can do, this is dialog. I'll try E. Okay, assign that, hit close, and OK. So now we have everything set for our writing our script. Really quick, we want to talk about some things on the script as you're writing the script. With the scene header, we will talk about EXE or INT. EXE stands for external, and there's a couple of things you're going to need. You're going to need the location as far as whether it's internal or external. So external means outdoors, right? So you put EXT, and all of this actually should be, capitalized. So I'm going to have to edit my style here. I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to go to Style. I'm going to go to Apply. I'm going to go to Modify, and I'm going to want to go to Format and then Fonts, and I'm going to want that to be all caps and Apply. And then OK. So EXT means external, and if it was inside someplace, I'll use INT, and I'm going to put a dot after that, and then I'll put the place. You know, like over here in this film is the valley. So I'm going to put maybe moon base. And then I put what time of day this would be, whether this is at night, whether it's in the evening, and maybe on the moon base there's no night or there's evening, so I can still put any time. Something like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my description. All right, now I have that, and then I'm going to go ahead and do an example of my character. And so I'm going to delete all of these so we can see them work as the you know, as the styles themselves. So I'll say Captain Jack, and then Captain Jack and then I'll put his dialogue here. Alright, so now all I gotta do is highlight this, and I'm gonna go to styles, and now I can say the character, Captain Jack, and then over here I'm gonna highlight that. I'm gonna go to styles, and I'm gonna say that is an action. And action is not actually correct. Action should have been over here to the center, and we can fix that. So I'm gonna right click on this action. Yeah, I'm gonna right click on the action. I'm gonna hit apply style. I'm gonna say modify action, and I'm gonna want this pushed over to the center like that. I'm gonna click OK. Yeah, that's better for the action. And now I can go ahead and close this. And then his dialogue. So I'm gonna highlight this part of the dialogue, and then I'm gonna go dialogue. Now remember those shortcut keys that we had. I can highlight this, and I can do my shortcut key, Control Shift Alt E, and it does all of that for me. Now whenever I add some descriptions, so I'm gonna hit the backspace, push it over here, and I'm gonna write INT for internal main deck. Oops. Now you notice how I wrote that. The way I wrote that is just anyway, and now all I gotta do is highlight this, and remember that was the, if I go to my styles, that was the header right here, the scene header. And what I did for that one was I'm used my shortcut key. And there we go. And now I can either use my shortcut key, I can go to the styles and create my script. So we already know that this is the scene header. It sets up the scene, and then you describe what's happening, what the viewer sees right under that header, and then you go ahead and let the characters talk. And if they are doing something before they say it, then you can go ahead and put that here, or even after they say it, you can put that there as a continuation. And then you go ahead and continue on as the scenes change. So let's say if the viewer, you have the viewer here in this external moon base on the outside of the moon base, and for some reason the captain walks in and all this other stuff happens outside the moon base. He must be some sort of special captain. So maybe we messed this up, and this probably should have been inside the moon base. So internal, and maybe we can do some sort of thing external outside the moon base. We do external moon base. Something like that. And normally you would do something like this, where you would take the external part, you would put your description here, and then you would go inside the moon base and put your description there to know what's happening. Now I need to just change this to be a description, and I'm going to just use my shortcut key to do that. And that's how we go ahead and format very easily our script. And what you want to try to do is write a 1 to 2 page script to kind of get used to this, so that way you know that you have it down and get your idea down. So I hope this helps you out. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below.